What's up guys, Moniz here, and right in front of me I have three laptops. I have the Lenovo Legion Y530, the Acer Predator Helios 300, and the Dell G7. These are pretty much in the same price bracket, and three laptops that you guys have been asking me to compare to help you decide which one makes the most sense for you. Now in terms of design, I think the Acer Predator Helios 300 looks the worst. It's your typical black and red gaming laptop. It looks like it's gonna murder you. Nothing has really changed in the last couple of years. However, it is the only laptop out of these three that has a metal lid. The G7 is a nice compromise. It still looks like a gaming laptop, but also looks pretty sleek with that white going across it. The Lenovo Legion Y530 has been completely redesigned, has a smaller footprint, and is all black. I think it looks absolutely awesome. Now, in terms of portability, the Lenovo Y530 is the best. It's around 5 pounds. It's a lot easier to carry around campus all day, while the other two are closer to 6 pounds, making it more of a burden. The port selection is pretty similar across the board. The Lenovo Y530 has all the ports in the back of the laptop, allowing you for better cable management if you have this placed on a desk. The G7 and the Predator Helios 300 both come with an SD card slot. The Y530 does not, so this is great for content creators. But the biggest difference out of all of these laptops is that the G7 is the only one that comes with a Thunderbolt 3 port with 4 PCIe lanes. This means down the road, if the 1060 Max-Q that's inside of here is not performing to your standards, you can hook up something more powerful to this and keep the laptop going. So upgradeability is pretty even across the board. They're all pretty easy to get into, but the Dell G7 is the easiest just because there's one screw to take off. They all come with an M2 SSD with pretty good read and write speeds. The Predator Helios 300, you have to insert your own 2.5-inch drive because the drive bay is empty, but it does come with the casing allowing you to do that. The other two come pre-installed with a 1 terabyte hard drive. They're not the fastest drives, and if you want something faster, you can always swap it out for an SSD drive. Battery life across the board on all three of these laptops are not that great. The worst is definitely the Acer Predator Helios 300. I'm getting about 3 to 3.5 hours of use. The Dell G7 about 4 to 4.5, and the Lenovo Y530 the same. The displays on all three laptops are Full HD 1080p with a resolution of 1920 by 1080. The biggest difference is that the Y530 and the G7 have 60Hz panels with pretty poor color accuracy and really low brightness, around 250 nits of brightness, while the Acer Predator Helios 300 has a 144Hz display, pretty color accurate with almost 100% sRGB, making a very good choice for content creators who love to game. So each of these laptops are utilizing 2 speakers for sound. The Dell G7 definitely sounds the best. It's the most balanced sound spectrum out of the three. The Y530 has the best highs, but the volume itself is lower than the other two. The Predator Helios 300 gets louder than the Y530, but doesn't have the best balanced spectrum. So if sound is important, the G7 is the best option. The keyboards on all three of these laptops are pretty good for gaming, but I personally prefer the keyboard on the Y530. The layout makes the most sense. There's no keys getting in the way of each other, unlike the Predator Helios 300 where the shift and up arrow key are kind of too cramped. The feeling of it feels much better. The U-shaped keys, the rubber feel to it feels great for gaming. I do like the backlighting on this one better as well. It's only white, none of these have RGB, and I prefer the white over the red on the 300 and the blue on the G7. The G7 definitely has the worst out of the bunch. I'm not saying it's a bad keyboard, it's just I prefer these two better. The keys are kind of shallow and they feel a little bit too plasticky for gaming, but after a couple hours of use, you'll totally get used to it. Trackpads though. I think the G7 has the best trackpad. It's pretty accurate, there's tons of space to move your fingers around. Same holds true for the Acer Predator Helios 300, but I find the accuracy to be slightly less. The Legion Y530 actually has the best accuracy, but the trackpad itself is too small, making it feel kind of cramped when you're using it. I also don't like the buttons on the bottom. I'd rather just one big trackpad overall. Now when it comes to performance, all three of these laptops are great for gaming. The biggest difference is that the G7 and the 300 are using i7 8750H processors. These are 6 cores, so these are more geared towards gamers who want to stream at the same time, or content creators who use intensive applications like AutoCAD, maybe Adobe Premiere, or anything that can utilize more than 4 cores. The i5-8300H and the Lenovo Y530 is fine for gaming, but you're better off with the other two if you're doing more intensive applications. Now, in terms of performance, the G7 is using the 1060 Max Q, so you will get good settings with the graphics set to high at 1080p, whereas on the Acer Predator Helios 300, it's using a full-size 1060, which means you can also game on high, but you're gonna get better FPS. The Lenovo Y530 is using a 1050 Ti, so most games you play, the settings are still gonna be on high, but sometimes you're gonna have to drop it down to medium in order to play it comfortably. So when it comes to heat, they all did a pretty good job. The best one is definitely the Dell G7. It's using that 1060 Max Q, so the thermal output is not as intense as the other two, so you get a pretty good balance of heat management. The surface temperatures stay below 50 degrees Celsius, which is great. The Acer Predator Helios 300 definitely gets the hottest, sometimes passing 50 degrees on the surface temperatures. And if you're gaming for a long period of time, you're really gonna have to increase the fan output to max. And this causes the laptop to get very loud, but it's the only way to keep this laptop from dropping frames or thermal throttling. The Y530 has great heat management as well. The 1050 Ti does a great job. The way Lenovo designed their heat pipes this year with the open fan on the bottom allows air to pass through freely. You're also going to get surface temperatures that are below 50 degrees, and fan noises on max is not as bad as the Helios 300. So here's the bottom line. If you're a student, your budget's under $1,000 and you want something that's fairly light and portable to carry around campus, get the Lenovo Y530. Just note that none of these laptops are gonna give you great battery life, so you're going to want to be beside an outlet. Now, if you want the best bang for your buck and maximum value, and you're a content creator who loves to game, get the Acer Predator Helios 300. This is gonna give you the most power and the best bang for your buck. But if you want some balance between both of these devices, get the Dell G7. You're gonna still get great frame rates, you're gonna get good cooling, and the best part about it is it has Thunderbolt 3, so it's kind of future-proof if you wanna use an eGPU down the road. Now, I hope that clears up some of your concerns about all 3 of these laptops. Let me know your thoughts and comments below. If you have any questions about any of these devices, follow me or join my Discord server, or come on Instagram and shoot me a DM. I'm gonna be reviewing the HP Omen in the near future. I know some of you are gonna be commenting on that, and I promise to update you down the road when Lenovo releases their updated model of the Y530. So that wraps up this video. Like it if you liked it, subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you in the next one.